Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, you're about to hear something that might sound strange, maybe even a little superstitious, but stay with me. What if I told you that putting a pinch of salt inside your shoes could shift your energy, purify your path, and realign your intentions? And yes, this has roots in Islamic reflection, cultural wisdom, and deep spiritual symbolism. Across centuries, believers have used small acts to carry big intentions. This simple one, salt in your shoes, has been quietly practiced by Muslims around the world to ward off hasad, envy, remind themselves of Allah's presence, and step into the world with mindful tawakkul. Sounds too simple to matter? Well, sometimes the smallest things carry the most barakah. Watch until the end, because after this, you might never look at your shoes or your steps the same way again. Watch this till the end. You'll never look at your shoes or your steps the same way again. Have you ever done something small in Islam, like saying Bismillah, that led to a big change in your life? Drop your story in the comments. We might feature it next. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video, because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Cultural and Islamic background of salt. In the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, salt holds a place of subtle but clear significance. It's reported that the Prophet would sometimes begin and end meals with salt, not as a superstition, but as a practical and purifying element. Salt cleanses, it preserves, it brings balance. But its significance didn't stop at the dinner table. Across generations and continents, Muslims have embraced salt as a symbol of spiritual protection and energetic clarity. In parts of Pakistan, Sudan, Indonesia, and Morocco, families have passed down a tradition of sprinkling salt at thresholds or in corners of the home, reciting Quranic verses like Ayat al-Kursi. It's not the salt itself, but the niyyah, intention, behind the act that gives it meaning. Imam al-Ghazali, in his reflections, often spoke about the barakah of pure things. He noted that elements like water, salt, and olive oil, simple and natural, can become reminders of divine balance when approached mindfully. Salt, when placed in shoes with the intention of purifying your steps from hasad, pride, or forgetfulness, becomes a silent dhikr, a spiritual anchor. It's important to clarify, this isn't magic, and it's not a religious obligation. It's a way to deepen your relationship with your daily actions, to walk with awareness, like the Prophet, peace be upon him, did, who was described as walking as if descending a hill, humble, intentional, and conscious. Maybe your grandmother did this. Maybe your culture still does. Don't dismiss what's cultural too quickly. Sometimes culture holds spiritual truths waiting to be rediscovered. Don't dismiss what's cultural too quickly. Sometimes culture holds spiritual truths waiting to be rediscovered. Is there a cultural practice from your home or your family that aligns with Islamic wisdom, even if it's not widely understood? Share it below. We'd love to learn from you. Psychological explanation of ritual. Let's get one thing clear. Putting salt in your shoes isn't magic. It's a metaphor, a symbol, a mindful act of grounding. Salt, by its nature, absorbs moisture, preserves purity, and stabilizes. Symbolically, it has long been seen as something that draws out heaviness, tension, or spiritual fog. So when someone places a small pinch of salt in their shoes and makes dua for purification and clarity, they're not relying on superstition, they're choosing awareness. And that changes everything. Modern psychology tells every step you take carries your intention. What would change in your life if every step was sacred? Do you have a small Islamic ritual that keeps you grounded, emotionally or spiritually? Share it below and tell us how it helps you reset. Story of someone today. Let me tell you a true story, one that's unfolding even now. Her name is Amina, a 28-year-old woman living in Tangier, Morocco. In early 2024, she was battling something many people don't talk about openly in Muslim communities: chronic anxiety and spiritual burnout. She described it as feeling like her soul was trapped in fog. She was praying, fasting, even reading Quran, but felt disconnected. Her feet were moving, but her heart wasn't. One evening, after breaking down in tears during a conversation with her grandmother, the elder woman took her hand and said something simple: "Salt cleanses. Try putting some in your shoes tomorrow, just a pinch. But before you do, say, 'Ya Allah, purify my steps from the whispers of shaitan. Let each step draw me closer to you.'" Amina didn't fully understand the ritual, but out of love and desperation, she tried it. The next morning, she quietly placed a pinch of sea salt in her shoes and whispered the dua her grandmother taught her. She walked to work more slowly than usual, but more consciously. That night, she added a short recitation of Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas before bed. She did this again the next day, and the next. Within a month, something began to shift. Her anxiety didn't vanish, but she began to report better sleep, a clearer sense of direction, and a feeling that she was no longer walking through life alone. She journaled her experience and eventually shared it online, writing, "It wasn't the salt, it was the reminder. Every step I took reminded me that Allah was watching me, guiding me, and that made the noise inside quiet down." For Amina, the ritual became more than salt in her shoes. It became a spiritual anchor, a daily physical reminder that Allah walks with those who walk toward Him. She now calls it "my morning wudu for the heart." Her story isn't unique. Across the world, Muslims are turning to small rituals: istighfar on their commute, surahs before sleep, a whisper of intention before leaving the house, to restore inner balance. In an age of noise, sometimes the quietest acts carry the loudest healing. Maybe your healing doesn't come all at once. Maybe it starts with one small sacred step. You don't have to fight your battles alone. Let every action become a prayer. Have you ever tried a spiritual practice that helped calm your heart or changed your emotional state? No matter how small, share your story below. It could be the healing someone else needs to hear. Quranic parallels. Let's go deeper, because this ritual isn't just symbolic or psychological. It echoes something profound in the Quran itself. In Surah Taha 20:12, Allah speaks directly to Musa alayhi salam. "Indeed, I am your Lord, so remove your sandals." You are in the sacred valley of Tuwa. Why remove his sandals? Scholars explain it wasn't just out of respect. It was a moment of purification, a symbolic act of shedding worldly distractions before standing in the presence of the divine. Now consider this. What if putting salt in your shoes with the right niyyah is the opposite side of that same coin? A way of preparing your steps to re-enter the world with purity, presence, and purpose. A conscious act that says, "Ya Allah, every step I take today, let it be clean. Let it be guided. Let it carry light." The Quran often uses the metaphor of walking or traveling as a reflection of the believer's spiritual state. In Surah Al-Baqarah 2:155, "And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient." Every step we take into hardship, grief, love, or change is part of that journey. The trials are the terrain. So the question is, are your shoes prepared for that path? Think of the story of Ibrahim, upon whom be peace, who walked away from his people, from comfort, even from his own son, because Allah asked him to. His steps weren't easy. They were heavy, full of pain, but guided by conviction and surrender. The Quran shows us again and again that intention transforms the journey. A walk to the masjid becomes a form of worship. A single step away from sin is a step toward Jannah. So if placing salt in your shoes reminds you that your feet carry a divine mission, it's no longer a superstition, it's spiritual strategy. Let this act become a form of dhikr, a physical way to say, my steps are not random, they are watched, weighed, and written. Because when your steps are intentional, even walking becomes worship. Turn your walk into worship. Every step can be a form of dhikr. Which Quranic verse gives you strength when you're walking through hard times? Share your favorite ayah below. It might guide someone else. Historical story, Islamic world. Centuries before social media or microphones, there walked a man whose footsteps still echo in the halls of Islamic knowledge, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He wasn't just a scholar, he was a seeker. And his journey wasn't easy. It's recorded that he would walk barefoot across cities, from Baghdad to Mecca and beyond, just to sit with a scholar for a few hadith. One of his companions once said, his feet bled with salt and dua. He walked with sabr, patience stitched into his soles. Imam Ahmad didn't walk for comfort. He walked for conviction. Every blister was a badge, every step a sacrifice. And when he was imprisoned for refusing to say the Quran was created, he still didn't give up. His body broke, but his steps never stopped, because they were guided by something higher than pain: intention. What does this mean for us? You might never walk miles barefoot for hadith, but maybe you walk into work with a heavy heart, or walk away from a haram relationship, or walk towards someone you need to forgive. And that makes your steps sacred too. If you put salt in your shoes with the intention to purify your journey, to walk with remembrance of Allah, you are not far from the spirit of Imam Ahmad's journey. The form may be different. The essence is the same. Let your struggle be sacred. Allah sees every step, even the ones done in silence and pain. Let your struggle be sacred. Allah sees every step, even the ones in pain. Is there a historical figure in Islam whose perseverance and footsteps inspire you? Share their story with us. We all walk stronger when we walk together. How to perform the salt shoe ritual. Here's how to perform the salt shoe ritual with intention. 1. Take a pinch of natural salt. Sea salt or Himalayan salt is ideal. 2. Place it inside your shoes, beneath the insole or tucked at the heel. 3. As you do, say, Ya Allah, purify my path and protect my steps from harm, hasad, envy, and sin. 4. Make your intention for the day, whether it's patience, courage, forgiveness, or discipline. 5. Put on your shoes and walk mindfully, remembering that every step can be a prayer. It's not about the salt, it's about walking with awareness, remembrance, and tawakkul. Try this tomorrow morning. Walk into your day with Barakah. Are you going to try this? Drop your intention for tomorrow below. We want to walk this path with you. The warning: avoid shirk and superstition. Let's be clear, this is not magic. Salt by itself doesn't protect you or change your destiny. Only Allah does. This practice is not about superstition. It's about intention, niyyah, remembrance, dhikr, and connecting daily actions to your faith. The moment it becomes about the object instead of the one who controls all outcomes, that's when it slips into shirk. Islam is a deen of clarity. Pairing symbolic acts with dua and tawakkul is part of our tradition. but they must never replace trust in Allah or rely on unseen powers outside of Him. Always check. Is this in line with the Quran and Sunnah? Ask, learn, grow, protect your heart from confusion. Always seek knowledge. Protect your faith by asking, is this aligned with the Quran and Sunnah? How do you balance culture and faith in your daily life? Share your experience. We can all learn from each other. You are not walking alone. Every step you take, whether in joy, pain, or confusion, is seen by Allah and recorded by angels. So don't let your steps be random. Put barakah in your walk, cleanse your shoes, cleanse your intentions, cleanse your heart. Walk like someone whose Lord is watching lovingly, guiding each step, even when the path feels unclear. You're not lost. You're walking home. If you found meaning in this video, share it with someone walking through something hard right now. What's one thing you're walking away with from this video? Let's talk in the comments. To close, remember this beautiful hadith. The most beloved of deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are small. Bukhari. Start small, even if it's just a pinch of salt. Because consistency and intention is where the true power lies. Each small act, each conscious step can transform your day and your heart. So let your consistency become your spiritual superpower. Walk your path with purpose, no matter how small the steps may seem. Let your consistency become your spiritual superpower. Will you start this small step today? Type Bismillah in the comments if you're ready. If this video was helpful to you, please share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you learned. Your support helps a lot to spread the message and grow this community. Barakallahu fikum.